What's up guys, today I'm going to be giving you an in-depth tutorial on how I make my bone marrow butter. Let's get into it. So first, before you do anything, you want to chop all the excess meat off your bone marrow. Then you're going to get a bowl big enough to fit all that bone marrow in, and you're going to fill it with salt water. And I let the bones sit in the water for about an hour, but 30 minutes is fine.
Much later.
And I actually do this to clean the bones and to make sure there are no more impurities left in the bone marrow. But after you take your bone marrow out of the water, you want to thoroughly dry it with some paper towel before you season. And for seasoning, I use salt, pepper, and garlic, but you can use whatever you want. Salt and pepper is fine, or even just salt. But just make sure you season both sides thoroughly. And once your bone marrow is all seasoned up, you want to get out a pan and some parchment paper, placing all that seasoned bone marrow on the parchment. Then you want to throw it in the oven on 375 for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much bone marrow you have. And when it's sizzling like this, you know it's done. And I would recommend you let the bone marrow sit out for at least 10 to 15 minutes to let it cool down. And once the bone marrow is cooled to your liking, it's time to scoop all that bone marrow out and put it in a separate bowl. And now it's time to add our butter to a food compressor. I used about a pound of butter, but you can use more or less depending on how concentrated you want the flavor to be. Next, I added that bone marrow and some herbs. The herbs are really optional, but I use rosemary and thyme and a pinch of black pepper. And you want to allow this blend together until the butter is a real smooth consistency. And next, we scrape out all that butter into a separate bowl so we can start the whipping process. As for whipping the butter, I would recommend using a glass or metal bowl, as they will get cold faster and it helps a lot in the end. And once you get a larger bowl filled with a little bit of water and a lot of ice, place your bowl with the butter in it on top and start whipping. And once the butter is nice and firm, I like to put in some plastic wrap, seal that butter up tight and tie those ends. Then I flip the butter over and over until I get a nice cylinder. But if your butter is firm enough and you don't feel like flipping it over and over, you can literally just roll it out like some dough until you get a nice cylinder shape. Next, I would recommend packing it up and letting it sit in the fridge for a few hours until it firms up nice. And once they firm up, you have 2 beautiful blocks of bone marrow butter. And to end the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. Please let me know how you think I did in the comments. And as always, have a great day.